Join me as you and I you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out.
Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Writ Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, The Writ. And we got a lot of beautiful surprises today. A lot of beautiful surprises, especially because Dirk Manning is here showing off Homestead, which is already on its third Kickstarter. On its third stretch goal. There you go.
Yes. We unlocked the third stretch goal today, which is just mind-blowingly wild.
Telling me, I was like watching it go. I was like, woo!
As I'm sure we'll be talking about here throughout our time tonight, we have a really amazing team on this book, right? With Les and Rao, Colin Johnson, our colorist, Dave Lentz on letters, Rena Joe on editing, Source Point Press publishing it. So it's one of those things where, and I knew we had a really cool team on this book, and I knew this book was something very special. But then to be to a place where we hit $10,000 in pledges in 24 hours, about 24 hours, in today's climate, especially, it's very humbling, very flattering. We unlocked all the round one stretch goals. We're going to release the round two stretch goals tomorrow. We might already be catching up to them by the time we release them, but. You know how friends here. You all know how I roll and how I do a Kickstarter. I just like to give people as much stuff as possible throughout the length of the campaign. So I'm all in, man. I'm really excited about it.
That's why it was great to support your campaigns, is because you're constantly trying to one up it.
Well, every campaign is unique, and there's certain things I like to do. Like I like doing the signed book plates with like the sketches and stuff. So like right now, if you go to homesteadcomic.com, as long as your pledge level includes a hardcover, you get a book plate signed by me, signed by Les, a sketch on it, a remark on it by Les. But now as we're moving around too, right, we're going to start to do some extra cool stuff that we've never done with one of our books before. So I'm really excited about that.
And that's good to hear. And I really like how you're so personable when it comes to your Kickstarters. You actually make the audience feel like they're part of the whole process.
They are. Well, yeah, that's it. This is something we're doing together. I'm very fortunate with Source Point Press. I'm in a position where I think I could. We did this with. The Nightmare World, the complete collection, right?
Yeah.
When we didn't do it, we did a Kickstarter for this like 2016, right? The hardcover. But doing a trade paperback edition of this book, we just released this directly into the bookstore market. But when it comes to, so I could have done that with Homestead. But instead, getting to do it on Kickstarter and being able to offer people the limited edition hardcover and all the cool stretch goals and things like that, that does make it all about all of us, right? So that's really fun to do. That's really exciting to do. And I've said this before, it's also kind of vulnerable, kind of scary too, right? Because if it doesn't connect, you can't hide it, right? It's just right out there in the wild. So we just put it right out there. We kind of put it on the wide open, into the great wide open, if you will, to quote Tom Petty. And to be in this place is really humbling and really flattering, and everyone to be so excited about it and supporting the whole team. It's really an honor. It's really humbling, and I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to everyone that's been jumping in on the campaign with us.
I feel like this story has really connected with people.
Thank you. Yeah, we got some guests coming on a little bit too to talk about it a little bit, talk about the book a little bit more as well. But this is a story where there's not good guys and bad guys, right? Rather, it's about some members of the Lakota people, Lakota tribe that live out in the North Dakota Plains, Great Plains, and a family of settlers who were promised land as part of the Homestead Act. And what happens when they kind of come in direct conflict with each other. and how far both families are willing to go to kind of protect their way of life. This is not a situation where settlers bad or natives bad or anything like that. This is just a situation where you got two different families who are who are in conflict with each other, and how far they're willing to go to each protect their way of life.
Whoa, there's 2 Les in the stream.
I know. We can only be so lucky.
That is so weird. Something's going on back here. Let me see if I kick some stuff out. All right, hold on, guys.
Jordan, tell me Ralph isn't using the new computer without telling me he's not using the new computer.
Yeah, I'm not using the new computer. But this has nothing to do with me, though. Because I have 2 Raul back here.
Raul?
Yeah, Raul.
Tell me Ralph isn't using the new computer.
No, this has nothing to do with me this time.
Technical difficulties beyond my control.
No, but you're here now, man. Welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you. We finally got it straightened out.
Yeah, you're ahead of Les, so you're good.
Yeah, let's try to get in.
He's still trying to get in for right now. But
I think we should refer that there's a different Les than Leslie, who is right here, who also
Yeah.
True.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's play around here. Musical chairs. Here we go.
Musical chairs.
There we go. Now we got everybody up. Les is still trying to figure out how to get in here.
Click the link.
I feel like we're in a good place now.
We're getting there.
He's gonna go. His tablet died, so his iPad died, so he's trying to get it on the computer.
Oh, gotcha.
He says he'll be here in a couple of minutes. He's gonna go to his girl's computer.
Fair enough.
There you go. Now we know that's the thing. And of course, an exciting thing here, besides all the fact that we have Dirk, man, we also have Leslie. She's been really missed, and I'm really happy that she showed up tonight.
Like I said,
Happy to be here.
It's like I said, my first show with her ever since I joined.
Yeah, this is the first time. Yeah.
And to be fair, Leslie, I thought I was offering the surprise by having Rao join us, and then instead, you guys turned around and turned the tables on me and got
Right.
And I gotta get this over. Rao, it's so good to see you, man. It's so good to see you. We haven't had a chance to talk face to face since we launched. So,
man, you and I haven't talked since we got the proof over the Lakota language on the second book.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've been it's good to see you, brother. It's very good to see you. Rao is, for the record, in a lot of ways the MVP of this book.
Stop that.
No, look, man, I'm just keeping it real, man.
Les came up with all this. I just got to join in because I happen to be Lakota.
It's a lot more than that. No, Rao's input on this, has been crucial, and he's really become a huge part of the team and part of the success of the book. And making, oh wow, that's so crazy! Just watch the numbers go, and just to Rao and I we actually kind of ran in a lot of similar circles back in the day, and we had no idea either. So it's just this weird kismet moment.
Definitely.
Oh, that's Les's Janet's, I believe. But
crap.
Let's change your name. Let's change your name. Oh,
that's funny.
But no, so huge kudos to you, Rao, because again, man, this book would not be the book it is without you, man. And
I appreciate that so much, Dirk. But I mean, honestly, it was a treat to work on this project and be able to input. I mean, I think the goal of any native today, especially one who's involved with their culture, is to show the world the beauty of our culture. And this is just another venue to do that. So man, I feel so blessed, to have been involved in all this.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've told this story before, and I hope you don't mind me telling it now again with you here. This is a story I wanted to tell for years, right? This is something that was very important to me, and very important to get it right. I felt I did all this research and stuff like that on the story, and then Rao and I met on Facebook, and I give him the script, and he's like, I really like the story. He's like, well, what are these words they're using? I'm like, I thought that's like Lakota language. I've been cross-referencing this stuff for years. He's like, no, not even close. I'm like,
My exact word for what Waishichu gave you this information.
right. And it's stuff I cross-referenced for years. I was like, I got this. I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna look like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
No. The internet. Who knew that on the internet it's not telling you what's accurate? So,
I mean, the Lakota language is not an easy language. I mean, it's not Navajo, thankfully, but Navajo is a very difficult language. But it's not an easy language, and a lot of times you have different dialects, and you've got the Lakota, Nakota, Dakota. Then you've got the Sioux Nation language, which is just a little bit different. And then I'm Sinkanju Lakota, which is out of Rosebud, South Dakota. So it's like even a different conjugation of the Lakota language. So it varies.
Well,
So-
and even past the language, a lot of the cultural stuff with like the colors of like the paint and all that, it was just so cool because, again, spoiler, middle-aged white guy from the Midwest, who appreciates the culture and wanted to represent it well. But even it was very humbling for me to be in a situation where it doesn't matter how much research you do on the internet, right? As opposed to talking to people that are directly connected to the culture. And again, it was just really, I've enjoyed so much talking to you about it, and it really just took the book to another level, man. So
Well,
thank you.
it definitely took our friendship to a whole new level. That's for sure. We definitely bonded over that. And again, I think, and don't get me wrong, I love the internet. Please don't misunderstand, especially for stuff like this.
Sure.
But when it comes to native culture, and I really don't care what tribe it is or what language it is, there's something lost in the translation. And a lot of times different customs and what have you are skewed, or they branch them in together.
Hey guys.
There's Les.
There's the man.
Oh,
There
Lord.
we go.
Yeah, you
Thought-
can kick that one with the OBS stuff. Kick that out.
That's crazy.
I thought I was gonna have to perform a summoning ritual. Just start putting this on the screen.
Oh,
Like some candles.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
George,
Woo.
showing off some apocalypse girl love there.
Yep.
You guys forgive me. I literally just walked out of my shop where everything was haywire and into the house.
You're
and I
telling
need to
me
back the
home
volume.
is where
I don't
the
know. I
stream
need to throw
is.
some headphones on or something.
No, you're here now, man. It's funny.
I just got back from the gym, so
Raul just about how the internet can be so good in some ways, but in other ways not so good. So you're
Can I interject on that?
I'm getting feedback in here. Terrible.
Whatever you might find on the internet is definitely a misrepresentation and an interpretation that has been historically incorrect for
Oh my God.
since the arrival of the Europeans. So nothing that you see unless you actually know and talk to the people, which I'm very proud of you, Dirk, for actually bringing Rao in to talk about this, because I would have lost some respect for you if you hadn't brought in somebody who was indigenous to come and speak on it. Speaking as someone who is indigenous themselves, I would have been giving you like the total side eye, bro. But I am so happy you did this, and that speaks volumes about who you are. It really does. So thank you so much for doing that. And Raul, thank you so much too for bringing that perspective, the correct perspective into the storyline.
That was so well said. Because that's how I felt for years. That there's such a skewment when it comes from the actual culture and language to the internet. So yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And again, to me, the story was important, and I was nervous. I mean, again, I'm going to be real with everybody for a minute. I knew Les would do an amazing job on the art and stuff like that. He's wrestling with the wires. He'll come back, but right. But I knew Les would do a great job on the art. Right, that was beyond reproach, and I felt good about the story, the structure of the story, the concept of the story. But it was a situation where I wanted to make sure that, and I've said this, like when I write Hope, I talk about there's a difference about writing about the woman's experience and a woman having an experience. I can't write about the woman's experience. I'm not a woman. Similarly, with Homestead, when the Lakota characters, the Lakota people are such a big part of the story.
Audio is doubling up on me.
We can hear you okay.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Like when someone says something, it comes back through to me like twice.
Well, see, that happened to Rao earlier. He just passed it to you. Turn down the volume on your computer.
Yeah.
I just put earbuds in, so it shouldn't be
so
coming
you're
back
good
to
now, though, right?
here.
There you go. Yeah.
You're good now?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
I hear me talking, and then I hear me talking delayed.
Oh wow.
Weird.
I can hear you guys, but I hear everything twice.
Maybe it's a lag.
Double the pleasure. Yeah, try turning down the volume on your actual computer itself, maybe.
Look,
But no, so what I was saying was it's a situation where I could write a story about people from the Lakota tribe having an experience, but I could not really speak to, I cannot speak to the Lakota experience. So I at least wanted to make sure that the culture was represented accurately and stuff like that. So it was nerve-wracking, to give this story to Rao, like saying like, okay, what do you think? And he was very kind about the story itself. He didn't shred or anything like that. And then allowing me then to bring in that cultural aspect to make sure that things were represented accurately was really, I was really great. I remain very grateful for that, man. So thank you. It was cool. It was very cool of you.
I just, like I said, you and Les did all the legwork, man. I just kind of came in and was like, okay, this is what a Lakota person would say or do, and kind of went from there. But I give you and Les all the credit.
Dirk,
Well,
how do you know Rao?
We met on the internet.
Tell him that story. Tell him that story.
Yeah. I knew I wanted to get someone to be able to kind of look over the story for me and stuff and make sure that I was representing the culture and the language, at least, of the Lakota people properly. And there was a group on Facebook dedicated to Lakota. And I went on there and I just said, hey, I just made a post. I was just very transparent. I said, look, I'm writing this story. I want to make sure this is, the culture is represented accurately.
everything anybody says, they say it, and then it says it again. And
Hey,
like,
we can hear you, Les.
it's like it did.
I don't think he knows he unmuted.
Everything is like audio on top of audio.
There we go.
So, so I just went on the Facebook group and I said, hey, I'm looking for someone that maybe be familiar with comics, who likes comics, that would be willing to kind of hold my hand through this a little bit. Again, I felt the structure of the story was very solid. I personally felt that was good, but I wanted to make sure that the culture was represented properly, the language was represented properly, things like that. And Rao came in and said, hey, I'm a fan of comics and stuff like that. We started talking, ends up we have a lot in common in regards to like musical tastes. We actually like knew some of the same people and kind of traveled the same circuits a little bit here and there, and really just clicked and hit it off, and he became part of the team seamlessly, with Les and Dave Lentz on letters and Trina Joe our editor, and just it was really cool, man. It was just kismet. I don't know how to explain it. It was just like it's like we've been running parallel paths for years, and then like I said, Ra was involved in music and stuff like that. I actually knew some of the musicians that he knew, stuff like that. We had
Nice.
been to the same tours in different cities and stuff, and it was just really cool.
Now, can you just do me a favor? Because for someone who is just turning in for the first time and doesn't know, what is the storyline for the,
Good question.
could give us a storyline?
For Homestead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people can go to homesteadcomic.com and check it out as well. But no, so the setup of
Yes.
the setup of the
No,
book.
yeah, give us like a play-by-play, which would make somebody want to purchase
Right
to
on.
contribute.
Yeah, so the setup of the book is it's 1868 in North Dakota, and there's a gentleman by the name of Bill Simmons who was a soldier, and as part of his service, he was bequeathed land by the U.S. government as part of the Homestead Act in North Dakota. So he, I don't want to give too much away, but he has a situation arise where he takes his new family out into the plains of North Dakota to basically start a new life. He's leaving a little bit of a bad situation where he's at, and he's taking his family with him. And he gets out there, and there's a couple of the Lakota who see Bill and his family settling out there and are very concerned. They're very concerned that these settlers coming in are going to potentially destroy their way of life. Now, I will say, not all the Lakota feel that way, but a couple do, particularly Medicine Man, Maka, and he convinces the warrior, one of the best warriors in the tribe, look, we need to stop them from coming in, because if they come in, they could wipe out our way of life and wipe out our people. Spoiler, he's right. But so then the question becomes, how far are you willing to go to help us stop these settlers from coming in, including, are you willing to embrace the spirit of the wolf? And that's where things start. And I don't want to go too much farther than that because there's a lot of twists and turns in the story. But this is very much a horror book, but also very much a heartfelt book. And huge kudos to Les, because Les, we talked about this. I talked about bringing the story to you, almost 10 years ago now?
11 years ago. Actually, the day, I'm glad I got this all set up now. The day I met Dirk for the very first time.
Wow.
It was back when I was first shopping around Apocalypse Girl, basically. And I was tabling at a show, and I was across the aisle from him.
Cincinnati Comic Expo.
I had a huge line, and everything was looking really good. I went over and introduced myself to Dirk, looked at his stuff. I was like, it's all pretty cool. He comes over eventually and looks at my stuff. Is how I remember it. I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know. I mean, whatever. But I remember, if I'm correct, he came over and looked at some Apocalypse Girl stuff.
Yeah, you had the portfolio with the art.
Yeah, I had a big portfolio out, and like the first actual conversation he and I ever had. He looks at the artwork. He looks at me and goes, "I've got a story that I think you are the guy to draw." And I was like, half pencil will travel, man. Let me know. Talk to me. And actually, earlier today, when I was doing one of the live streams, I showed it. I still have the business card from that day. And he and I became friends through different shows and things, and talked and so on. And actually, he was key to Apocalypse Girl getting picked up by Source Point Press. And finally, I guess it's been about 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I think at the time, man, I was like, yeah, let's do this. And the run up to it all started, but then I had a stroke. So here we are. It's been 11 years.
Yeah.
It was at a show in 2013.
Yep, it was at Cincinnati Comic Expo. Yeah, and I
actually it wasn't Cincinnati. It was Tricon in Huntington, West Virginia.
Was it Tricon?
You were across from me at Tricon in Huntington, West Virginia. You were across from me.
No, you're right.
Diagonal from me was Billy Tucci.
Yep.
Because I thought
Yeah,
it was
Billy.
hilarious. I had a bigger line for Apocalypse Girl than Billy did that day.
That's amazing.
And at one point, Billy pops up from his table and is like, "What the hell's going on over there?" Because you know how Billy is. He's
Billy's
real
great.
larger than life. And he
Right.
Oh,
comes
Billy's
running
amazing.
over.
Yeah.
He knew the guys that I was tabling with, so he just walks back. And I'm sitting there doing a sketch for somebody, and then here's Billy Tucci's head pops over my shoulder, and I'm just like, "The hell are you doing here?"
Yeah, because
So,
you had
and,
how much of Apocalypse Girl did you have done at that point? Was it like 2 or 3 issues? Or I mean,
it
you had a little
was
bit to go on.
I had like the first issue done.
Okay,
It wasn't really that far. I was just looking for a home for it, really.
that's right.
And
That's right.
that day, the comic I had on the table was a 10-page preview.
Yeah. And I remember we talked about this, and I was like, look, man, I said, this Apocalypse Girl stuff's really cool. And again, Les had like this total like undercurrent of like this Bernie Wrightson vibe to his art and stuff like that. So that was
He's
really cool.
king.
Yeah. Oh, amen. And I told him, I said, look, I've got some books in queue right now. I said, I know you really want you. I said, you need to finish his book too, because this needs to come out. And I said, we're going to stay in touch. And then when the time comes, we're going to do this. Now, I don't know if either of us expected to be quite 11 years, but we stayed in touch. And again, you know, Apocalypse Girl got-
Honestly, my expectations from this business is I expected it to be never. Because
that's fair.
the amount of people, can I cuss on here? Because I'm in foul mouth.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it.
So, the amount of people who I've met being in and around this business for 30 years who talk shit is like 99%. Most of them talk shit. Oh, we want to do this, that, or the other. Hey, we'll be in touch. Blah, blah. You never hear from them. You just don't. That's how it is. And you know, it's about 10 years in, I stopped even being irritated by it. It was just like, okay, it's just what it is. And you know, so I mean, when we talked that day, I was like, sure, yeah, this will happen. So,
But to be fair,
Dirk,
I told you it was a
Dirk
werewolf,
turned
and your
out-
eyes did light up.
Oh, the idea, like I was excited that day. I was like, the idea of this is awesome. And I'm a big history nut. Lord, there's so much wild stuff. I mean, you know, the shirt, of course, you can't see the bottom of it.
Hold on.
It's my Stalin, Joseph Stalin shirt that says dark humor is like food. Not everyone gets it.
Wow.
And if you get the joke, it's like the ultimate, most terrible joke. Just about you know, yeah, dark humor like food. Not everyone gets it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. It's so terrible. Yeah,
No,
freaking Holodomor jokes. But
no, I
thought,
remember I remember the time of senior art and stuff like that. And I told, and again, correct me if I'm misremembering, but I was like, look, man, finish Apocalypse Girl. I said, I'm going to finish Nightmare World, and this will be the thing after that. You know, which then
something like that.
It just took a little longer, but we also got there. But here's the thing too. The Dirk Manning of 11 years ago would not have been able to write the book, the story, with the nuance and the depth that it has now. You know, I think that's part of it too. This was a story I had to grow into a little bit.
The thing that like when he and I first talked about this book, not 11 years ago, but coming back around to before we started working on it, you know, I said, I was like, you know, there's a through line to this that is easy. I was like, and if you take the easy path writing this, I'm probably not going to be into it. And fortunately, Dirk is kind of like me, is like usually the easy way is not the way we want to take. And what he wrote with this, I personally love it because of the like everybody in this story has massive amounts of skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They all have their lives and their livelihoods riding on everything that's going on. And you know, there's a way, you know, as a little kid growing up in the late 70s, you know, there's a way that the Native American side could have been framed as bad guys. And at one time that would have been the norm. Then there's a complete opposite way that the settlers could be framed as the bad guys, and that's become the current norm in a lot of avenues. But to frame it where you're showing that if anybody is the actual bad guy, it's the damn government. I'm just like, dude, we're down. It's like, because this family going west, they're just trying to have a better life and take advantage of what they're promised.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not their fault that they end up there. And the father is just trying to do what a father would do to protect his family. And when Dirk said it's the story of two families and how far they would go to protect their way of life, I was like, yes, thank you. Yes, that's beautiful. And I won't give anything away, but the way the story plays out, I mean, I remember when I read the script for it was originally going to be 4 issues, and when I got the issue 4 script, I was like, I read it, and I was like, Dirk, this is the best thing you've ever written.
Yeah,
hands down. I was like, you have managed to thread a kind of a needle and portray these things with a kind of balance and sincerity across the board. I mean, it's like it's profound what he's written. And so, for me, it was like I have to draw this book. I mean, I was literally in the hospital, put in the hospital for having a stroke, and was doing layouts to this on an iPad because I was like, I don't care. I have to finish this book. This book has to get done. It's like, if it's the last freaking thing I do, this book will see the light of day.
Yeah.
And here we are a year later.
And I don't want to bury the lead on that either, right? But yeah, Les finished this book after having a stroke. He literally on the hospital bed drawing. Yeah, 2. Yeah. And I was like,
I had 2 strokes in the same day.
Yeah, it's like,
was fully left side paralyzed.
And he messages me.
It's not a good time, guys. It's not a good time.
He messaged me like, look, man, I'm in the hospital. The one side of my body's paralyzed, but I'm drawing with the other side. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, rest.
It's like, I'm
working. He told me, and he goes, if this book's gonna be the last thing I ever do, this book needs to get done.
Wow.
As I was going into when I was in the ER and they were getting me admitted, and they were sticking all these tubes and shit in me. At one point, I had my iPad on my leg, and I look over at this nurse, and I was like, ma'am, could you try not to shake me? And she's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm working. Somebody has to pay for this shit.
Wow.
It was wild, man. It's been a trip. And
dude, Les, I have to say, you went through all that, and I feel like you upped your game. Your art looks even better.
Yeah, I've said this a number of times over the past year. I'm like, something. It's like it's like God reached into my brain and was like, I'm going to rip some wires out, and it's going to screw some things, but it's going to fix a couple things too. And my work got better, and if anything, I got faster. Like right now, I average, when I'm working on a book, I average pencils and inks of about 4 pages a day. And it just, I honestly, though, I think what it is I nearly died. I knew I nearly died. It sucked, full stop. And I was just like, no, I'm not done. I'm not done yet. And I'm gonna pound everything as hard as I possibly can and make the most of every moment that I've got. That's just, it's like, well, shit, man, I have no idea how many moments I have left. So I'm gonna pound the hell out of every single one of them as hard as I can go. I mean, I came running into here just after 3-hour stint in the gym.
Woo!
It's like, no factor, man. Don't let up. You got to give it hell. Everything.
And I would tell you too, it's funny. Even like all of us having technical difficulties, like the first 5 or so minutes, but then we all sync up. I think that was like the history of the book in a way, right? Like all of us at some point all of us went through some sort of shitstorm at some point in the lead up to this book. you know, and I'm not going to put everybody's business on blast. We all had crazy stuff happen as this book was coming out, but then the final product came out, and I think for all of us that emotional energy, that willpower, that dedication to putting this out is like baked into this very emotionally resonant project.
No, I don't get super artsy fartsy about stuff. I mean, I'm very much a brass tacks kind of tradesman about doing this stuff. But I will say it was funny because I was frustrated for a while about these paintings that I had done that we were going to use as covers for the 4 issues, and then decided to put together as one. And then at the end, I actually got kind of frustrated. Dirk's like, "Hey, can you do a cover for the collection? You're just a new cover." And I'm like, "All right, fine, fine, fine. I'll do it. Whatever, I'll do it." And I went through a bunch of different sketches, and I like most of the time when I'm doing a piece of artwork, I actually don't labor over it that much. Most of the time, it's like pop. Okay, this is what's going to be. Boom, done. Get it out. This one I sat and labored over, and there's a number. I don't know how much I can give away yet about some of the things that are coming down the line for the Kickstarter, so I won't say that. But
Right.
I'll just say there's a compositional aspect to this that
Yeah.
required a level of thought be put into it. And because of that, I ended up doing a lot of sketches and tinkering with it. And I think in the end, like, there's something about that big werewolf right there. There's something about that
Yeah.
thing.
Definitely.
And not to be artsy fartsy about it, but when I look at it, I just something about that feels like something woke up in me when I had the stroke. It was like it just feels like my spirit right there in that image from the stroke. And as hokey as that sounds, it's like the response to that piece of artwork has just, I mean, I've been beside myself for a day, and a solid day now.
And I want to peel back the curtain a little bit more on that front cover, if I may. Les did this amazing piece, and it was painted. I get painted, right? Kind of like
It actually started as a painting, as a digital painting.
Right. Gorgeous, right? Gorgeous piece. And I'm looking at this piece, and I'm like, this is gorgeous, but it doesn't catch the aesthetic of the book. And I hate asking anybody to do anything twice. And I'm looking at this piece, and I'm like, this is gorgeous. But it was actually something Les said. He goes, I want the cover of the book to match the interior. And the interior, like you've seen some of the pages, it's that very Bernie Wrightson and the inks and stuff like that. And again, so I said to Les, I go, this piece is great. And I even waited a couple days because I'm like, man, he's going to choke me out. Doesn't matter if he only has one word, he's going to choke me out. But in my heart, I knew. So I wait a couple days, and I talk to him, and I say, Les, this werewolf, and it was this piece that you look at.
Whoa.
Oh.
I think Rob's having trouble again.
And I said, it's gorgeous. I said, but you've done such great inking work on this whole book. I said, why don't we ink it? And again, I could tell he was getting hot for a second. I said, just so then, unless if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I think you went into overdrive, and he just inked the shit out of it, right? And then
I cut loose on. I cut loose on that thing.
I think every line he was
wild.
He's like, but they laid the inks on the painting and adjusted it out, and that's the piece that's the cover now.
So,
and I was like,
it's really wild just to do the colors under those inks. I took the painting and then manipulated it to like flatten some of the colors out, because as a painting, if you drop those inks over the painting, it honestly looks like crap. It gets super muddy. So I pulled a bunch of little tricks with the colors with a version of the painting under that and used that to generate the colors. It ended up coming out. It ended up coming out as like two different pieces of artwork that I love both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just even the inks, which we haven't shown anyone just like the inks yet. Maybe we will later. We'll see. But it was like, there it is, man. It just clicked, right? But again, it's not. But it's like Les said, it's about not taking the easy way out. It would have been real easy just to say, yeah, man. And then the painting's great, which it is, but it just wasn't sitting right. And then just putting in that little bit of extra oomph on it. That cover now is stunning. I mean, it just jumps off the page, man. You know,
there's lots of things that I run into in different projects where there might come a point where somebody's like, "Hey, can you add this? Can you do this?" And I jokingly call them. I oftentimes say people get a case of what I call the "I wannas."
Yep.
I want to see this or I want to see that, and I'm like, "Okay, here we go again. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go." And I'm not crappy about it, especially with Dirk because he's super cool. But most of the time, that stuff is frankly on a professional level aggravating. And with this, when Dirk made the case to me, I was like, brother's right here. He's right. He's absolutely right. This needs that. It needs that to bring it all together. And so I did it. And I mean, when I started doing it, I was like, man, this sucks. Here I am doing another cover for this thing. I'm doing another thing, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, that sucks. But, and man,
I'm just glad it worked out because I would have felt like a real chump if it didn't. But
about a quarter of the way through the work, I'm doing inks over that. I looked at it and I was just like, yeah, this may be the single best piece of work I've ever done. And at that point, I was like, I'm committed. I got this is happening, man. It's absolutely happening. So I feel like the book represents for me the beginning of life post-stroke. And that cover, it's so weird because a lot of the book was done actually months and months ago. But that cover was done just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that
last piece.
There's something really, really odd for me about that cover and doing it so long down the line. And it I don't know, it felt like it represented something. I can't hardly say what, but I look at it and I'm like, there we go. It's like it's like that's as an artist, that is me today now moving forward. So here we are.
No, that's it. And it just, the culmination of the whole project was, I think that cover piece was, it just, and now that, thank you, Les.
I gotta say,
and the thing is too,
we are looking forward to getting this book. I can feel the passion. Usually, I say that with your things, Dirk, but you can feel it doubly, triply. The more we talk about it in here, the more you're like, wow, and just what Les has gone through in the life of this book alone, kind of brings it out there. And I wasn't kidding. Your stuff looks amazing, Les. It looks like you stepped
Thank you, man.
To another level.
Thank you.
Yeah, let that guy know they can have a stroke and come out a stronger artist because of it.
Exactly.
It's Iron Man. It's insane. And like I said, again, I'm not going to put anybody's business out there, but all of us went through some crazy stuff for this book. But I think we've all come out stronger because of it, and the book has come out stronger because of it. Like I said, this is a book I wanted to do 9 years before I met Les. And then when I met Les, and I was like, oh man, I said, just give it time. And we got to this point. And now that we've unlocked, these first 3 stretch goals on here. Tomorrow we'll be announcing the round 2 stretch goals, and I'll give you a little bit of exclusive here. The round 2 stretch goals are called. I think they're called. What would we have called it? I think it's called Bring Your Silver.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
That's a big tease there.
yeah, Bring Your Silver. So, but there's some stuff we're going to be revealing with the art. Also, and I hope Rao can jump back in and join us. I know he was having a problem for a second there.
I can bring him in, but hold on.
Yeah, just there you are.
There we go. Go ahead.
All right, so Rao, I'm gonna tag you in a second to talk about this, but so these 3 stretch goals, like I said, there's certain things I like to do. So we're doing the book plate signed by me, signed by Les. Les is gonna be doing little like remarks on them, and because we hit 10K in about 24 hours, we're gonna announce this tomorrow publicly. We announced it to the backers tonight. So people like Jordan, who's our #1 backer for multiple times now on
Jordan,
Word
yeah, #1 again,
up.
keeping his streak alive. I don't know, Jordan, if you saw the update I sent out tonight.
Of course I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good journalist.
This is #1 fan we're talking about. You really think he's gonna miss?
Jordan probably understood some of what I was talking about with the cover. So
read that too. Yeah, exactly.
You might have some ideas about that.
So Rao is an artist in his own right as well, and he's going to be doing illustrations for the prose story at the end of the book. But Rao is also very graciously, and I'll let you tag it on in this, Rao, but going to be signing the book plates as well. So the book plates, as long as any pledge level you have, as long as it has the hardcover, you're going to get the exclusive book plate signed by me, signed by Les, a remark on it by Les, and then Rao's going to be signing them all as well. So you'll be getting triple signatures and a sketch with every any pledge that has the hardcover in it. So Rao, thank you.
My
for that.
right hand is ready and waiting.
Yeah, so get ice on that hand, Rao, because I think when people find out that you're signing too, we're going to be moving even more books.
All right, let me bring Rao in. He should talk, and we don't talk. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
So yeah, when Dirk approached me about that, I was all for it. Like, whatever we need to do to promote Homestead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's very kind of you too. Like I said, I mean, Rao's been a very huge part of this team, and again, that goes to everybody. Drina Joe's not with us today. Dave Lentz is with us. Our colorist, Colin Johnson. We have such a stacked lineup on this book, man. It's like, and what's cool too is, I hate being the one saying this, but the level of diversity we have on this book too. You got me from the Midwest, our editor Drina Joe's from the West Coast. Dave Lentz is over towards the East. You got Rao's also Midwest. You got Les from Appalachia.
Appalachia, man.
Appalachia.
Not Appalachia. If you say Appalachia, we'll throw an Appalachia.
That's right. And then you got our colorist, Colin Johnson, is from Brazil. So we just have, like I said, if you look on the Kickstarter page, if you scroll down, there you go. You got that ugly guy, and then you got these two handsome, a bunch of handsome people. And I can't make fun of Dave because who am I to make fun of? He has the avatar that he uses too. And then of course Drina Joe, who once I started working with Drina more exclusively as editor, I started getting nominated for Ringos left and right. So she's obviously the brains of the operation. And then Rao's portrait did your sweet lady do that one, Rao? Or was that you? Who did your picture?
Yeah, that's me.
That's funny.
So we just got a real cool team on this whole book, man. I'm just it's cool. We got a real nice lineup on this book, just coming in really hot on this, and the fact that people have been so reciprocal to that is
really?
Because again, you never know. I mean, this is the first standalone, truly horror book that I've done on Kickstarter in a long time. I mean, Cthulhu Jr. was all ages, but like I'm 5 volumes deep on that. Hope no one believed me it was a horror book when I launched that. That was part of a series.
I mean, there's a second book currently going that's about a certain bunny rabbit.
Oh, that one's not mine. I was like, wait a minute, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I was going to say that's not Dirk.
No, it's a good old horse.
Yeah,
right, right. But for me to drop a standalone horror graphic novel on Kickstarter, I was like, I don't know. Do people just want to read? Do they just want to go on to the series or Hope Volume 2? But again, we're just very grateful, very appreciative to get to come in and just a nice entry point book with a bunch of amazing voices in this book, people all lending their different talents to it. I've said it a lot, but I'm just so grateful because this book is so important to all of us. So for everyone to be supporting it is cool. And then we did a little more in a 30-day campaign. The campaign doesn't end until April 1st because I literally just want to unlock as many stretch goals as possible, much to the chagrin of my publisher, because the more stretch goals you add, the less profit there is. I don't care. I just want everyone to get cool stuff. And I can't wait for everyone to see the Bring Your Silver stretch goals tomorrow because it's
oh yeah.
There's one that involves Les's art. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, Les. And then we go silver after that, and I'm really excited.
I can tell you're like this close to saying it right now.
I know it. I'm trying not to say anything. I'm trying to wait.
What's wild for me is that like there's components of all this that I don't know. I mean, there's some things I know because I make them. And then pretty much outside the stuff I'm responsible for, I have no idea. I have no idea what's up.
The best way to keep a secret is not tell anybody.
I thought it was to shoot them.
It's all stuff we've talked about before. But and again, people that have backed Kickstarters for me in the past know there's certain things I like to do. But
oh man,
yeah, you'll find out tomorrow.
I'm blown away at the last 24 hours, man. I'm just like,
it's been fun to watch.
Like I had some expectations in mind, and they were modest, and I thought, if it does X, I'll be very happy. I'll be very satisfied. It'll be cool, yeah. And it surpassed my expectations by about an hour in.
Wow.
And I was like, what the hell is going on here? What is this? And then I'm seeing all these things. And then I ended up having to do 3 live streams today just because of the stretch goals. And I had said that whenever there's a stretch goal met, I would do a live stream where I'm sketching on the stream, and anyone who's a backer can say something in the stream. Yeah, Jordan, you got one. And anyone who's a backer and in one of those streams at the end of it, I'll randomly pick from those people who are still there. They have to stay to the end, but whoever stays to the end, I'll randomly pick from who's there, and they get whatever sketch I do on the stream.
That's a good way to
do it. So I'm 3 deep in those now.
I hear you. Yeah, I ended up doing 4. I always do a live stream whenever we unlock a stretch, because I did live stream when we launched, and then a live stream whenever we do unlock the stretch goal. I am going live like 4. That's why I got these bags into my eyes, man. It's like I went live like 4 times yesterday. I'm like, oh my god! And then again today, we hit, we hit the 10 grand today, so we unlocked the 3rd stretch goal. Yeah, it was just like,
oh man. Last night after I usually don't take a day off from the gym. I'm in the gym every day a lot. And last night, or yesterday, after it passed its funding goal, my girl Janice and I were so excited. We're like, man, we're just going to go have dinner. We're going to go to dinner.
Right on, man.
And it was like, whoa, yeah, this is great. It's fun. And we were like, well, we're having dinner. It's like, I wonder how it's doing. And it was actually we were having ice cream in I was like, oh honey, I was like, before dinner, we got to go to this little ice cream place.
It's
It's
good
a great little
mojo.
place,
That's right.
good people. Dirk, you got to come sign some books at one of the shops here, and we'll go down there. I'll take you down there.
Nice.
But you'll love this little place. It's awesome. And we were there and getting my ice cream, sit down, and we're like, wow, this is really great. Look how good it's doing. And then I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Like, why is my phone lighting up? Let's check this out. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? I was like, it just passed the stretch goal. And I'm like, well, crap. And I'm super happy. And we're, the folks who are there who know us are like, yeah, that's great. Everybody's happy. It's like, well, that's cool, man. Let's go get some dinner. So then we go over to get some dinner, and I'm like, ding, 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 ding. What the? It's like, we just passed another one. And I go home and I go to bed, and I wake up this morning and I'm like, no shit. Look at this. I was like, we've blown through the first round already in less than 24 hours. What the actual F is going on?
Exactly.
Like, damn. And
yeah. And those were not insubstantial stretch goals in round one either, right?
No, they were not.
I'm just like 666, then going to 777, then going 888,
yep.
and then going to 10,000.
Yep.
I'm like, and here's the thing. Again, we're all friends. I'm going to pull back the curtain. Dave, who's our design guy, who does the stretch goal ads and stuff like that, he had like a little trip planned with his family. And I said, look, man, it's cool. I said, I'm going to give you the round one stuff. That'll hold us over for a couple days. Enjoy your time with your family. We'll be good to go. Yeah, I did. It's like Dave's on vacation. I'm like, Dave, we need more graphics. He's like,
you broke up.
Family. I'm like, I know, but it's going too fast. And so, but again, that's just testament to everyone on the book and the amazingness of all the people who are back in the project, right? And even Raul, I've been talking, and it's like, I think what you asked me, Raul, like, is this normal? I'm like, I'm not always like this.
No, not like this. It's similar, but not like this.
yeah. I mean, we're fortunate. We do well, but I'm just really happy to see people responding to this so well, bringing in a lot of new people too, people who maybe aren't familiar with my work.
To hear.
Right. So I'm stoked about that.
Leslie was asking if Homestead's only going to be a 4-book series.
It's going to be one original graphic novel, about 100 pages all in.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 issues of content. There's a prose story, like an epilogue. That's the one that Ra was gracing us doing some artwork on that. But this is a one and done, because when you stick the landing, you stick the landing. That's not to say we all won't work together again, something else, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything.
It's like I said in Les's stream earlier. I opened the floodgates for you.
Right.
Oh,
right. Yeah, man. And it's, there are things I do that are longer form. Hope is a multi-volume series. Tales of Mystery is this big epic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare World is 52 stories. Homestead, it exists in a capsule, and that's the story. We got the 4 issues of content. We got the prose story that's kind of an epilogue to the whole thing, and there it is. Oh, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just agreeing with you, because I mean, it was your idea to do a one and done. Because at one point we did talk about 4 separate issues, and I kind of was like, I left that to you and Les, because I'm like, well, however they want to do it, I'm down for whichever. But yeah, I think a one and done was a great idea.
Yeah, thank you.
I was big on doing four issues, having it split up initially, and there's there's a version of that idea that I think would be really cool, but the way it all worked out is, well, I feel like floppies these days in comics are sort of they're on the way out. They've been on the way out for a minute, and I think they're a thing who has died and just doesn't know it yet. And I personally don't buy floppies. I buy nice thick trades, and that's what I read. And most of the people I know are the same way. They don't really buy floppies except a few special covers or specialty things to collect. And so, it was like, yeah, let's just skip the BS and go right to, here's the thing. And I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why manga is so successful, is because a lot of manga, you get a book and there it is, and you've got that book. It may be part of a series, but it's a book, and you can usually read them in themselves. So, this is something, I had my brain was set to four issues throughout most of the work on the project. But then when we got to talking about it, I'm like, all right, yeah, this, the time's come to kind of wean ourselves off of that old thinking. And, I think that doing the one and done sort of thing where it's an actual graphic novel, it's a very, it kind of helps elevate the art form in a way. And, a way that I've seen, like if you look at the way the way they deal with comics in France with bande dessinée, it's totally different than it is here in the United States, man. It's just, it's not, it doesn't have the lingering, comics are for kids or thing like that, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's elevated. It's elevated into its own art form. I feel like this is a good method of doing that for us. And a book like this really deserves that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying something, Leslie. I apologize. I tried to catch it, but
I was saying that, I'm sad to hear that it's going to be a four-parter, but I understand that sometimes it should just be a one and done. But from the perspective of Indigenous horror as a whole, there's not very much out there in Indigenous horror. And if you do see it, it's very cliched. It's written from the perspective, first of all, when we create horror, nobody sees it. Like there was a horror movie that was created by some guys called I think it was called Blood.
Blood Meridian.
What'd you say it was?
No. It was
Blood
on Shudder.
Quantum.
Blood Quantum.
Yeah. So I mean, we know about it. We know that movie's out there. We tell each other that movie's out there, but we don't actually see it. It's not actually supported in a bigger arena. So I'm happy to see that you all are doing this, but I'd like to see more Indigenous horror, because Indigenous stories, our history is kind of scary. You all know where I grew up. We had a creature that supposedly existed, a cryptid that died, the Payasa bird. Those kind of stories terrified me when I was a kid. And the thing is, there's truth behind the origin of it. So we have a lot of cryptids that exist within the Indigenous world. Most of what is native here in America is, our cryptid Americas is what we could speak about, like some of our elders could speak about. But there's some really horrible stories out there. I feel like a lot of it is being watered down now. Some of the videos that I see online about, skinwalkers and wendigos and stuff like that, which incidentally, a lot of that is incorrect information that they're spewing. Go ahead, Rao. I know you want to say something about it. I know you're burning. Go ahead.
No, because you're right. And again, we come to that trickle down situation. And I was just about to say skinwalkers, wendigos, and there's things that aren't touched on, like not a lot of people talk about the Black Witches within several different tribes, and they're not talked about. It's considered very much a dark situation because at one
Look
point,
up the Black Witches of Appalachia.
the same thing.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of
There's a whole thing, like Appalachian stuff is a big deal to me, and there's a whole thing there about there was a whole community throughout the hills there. Full disclosure, I'm actually a quarter block, and there's the Black Witches of Appalachia is a thing. It's really wild. I grew up playing in the hills out there where we'd run across cairns, these rock formations that were, different kinds of sites for different rites and things. So
that's actually
it's
a
just
niche.
funny.
That's a niche because I'm Melungeon of Melungeon heritage, which is native.
You're Melungeon.
Yeah, I'm Melungeon.
Nice.
And the thing is that those
Nice.
stories are a combination of Black, indigenous storytelling that happened in the Appalachian Mountains is stuff that people don't even touch on. And that stuff is
Oh, yeah.
scary as hell.
That's the stuff I grew up with. Where I grew up, I didn't have indoor plumbing until I was 11 years old. And, grew up around very old people, as a little kid playing along rock walls that if you know what the rock walls mean in some of these places, I'll just leave it at that. But, it's no wonder that I'm a horror nut and that I've always drawn horror artwork and things because that kind of stuff is just baked into my blood from day one.
Rob, what were you going to finish saying? Because I wanted to hear.
What you were saying. Well, one of the big stories in the Lakota Nation is Deer Woman. Deer Woman was the spirit of vengeance. Literally, she hunted down people who were bad people in their lives and hurt others, and would ceremoniously kill them.
I'm actually having to draw the project. Oh, sorry. Another project that I'm on, Reign of Dracula, has an iteration of the Deer Woman in it. So,
what about?
I'm playing in your backyard, man.
Rob, what about the walking trees too? There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the earth spirits, and it's not just trees. There's like the shapeshifters. Really, they haven't been gone into to the effect that I think that they have a story, because you just don't have them in one tribe. They're in every tribe. One of my favorite stories, I have a very good friend who lives upstate New York, full-blood Shinnecock, which is one of the Black tribes. And they go heavily into shapeshifters, medicine men and medicine women who could literally change into animals, change into trees. There's very much an underrated story there.
Well, as a horror guy, I think all of us can agree that sometimes it's good just to tell the story, get in, get out. But I think we're planning like our next projects right now. So
I agree.
Right? It's like this is what it comes down to, because again, it was a situation that I think Rao and I we talked about it. Les and I talked about it. Joe and I talked about we could do more with this, and I'm like, it stands alone so perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we couldn't do more with it, but there's something to be said for that's the thing. But now we got all of us here. We can look at what the next indigenous thing is going to be. And it's funny because I don't know, I'm probably telling on myself here a little bit. I always wanted to get into some of the work by the horror writer Stephen Graham Jones, a native horror writer. And I didn't let myself read any of his work until Homestead was done, because it's the same thing. And it sounds so funny, but like 20 years ago, when I started Nightmare World, I swore off reading any more of the old horror anthology comics, right? Whether it be like the Flinch, Tales from the Crypt, anything like that, because I didn't want that to be seeping into what I was doing. And so then my treat to myself was when we finished Homestead, I'm like, oh, finally I can read some Stephen Graham Jones, some like indigenous horror stuff. And you're right, some of the aspects of some of the stuff he puts in there, it just like it was mind blowing to me because it's a different take on it. Just like I always tell people, I tell anybody that listen to me, one of my people say, "Oh, what are some of the best horror comics out there?" I'm like, Junji Ito, the manga master of horror. And I mean, there's like, to me in horror comics, there's Junji Ito, and then there's everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people have that bias against manga. They're like, oh, but that's manga and you got to read it backwards. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and just read it, man. What read Uzumaki? Like, well, what's it about? They said, it's about a town that becomes obsessed with spirals. They're like, they look at me and I'm like, and it's the scariest thing you'll ever read. Right. But again, his take,
it's messed up. Yeah.
It lives in my brain. It just, so, but I really appreciate what you're saying. Yeah, there it is.
Uzumaki.
Right, Uzumaki is, oh my God.
Nice.
And Dirk, just because you said something about that, I think Comic-Con 2 years ago, I bought a T-shirt, a Uzumaki T-shirt. So I just wanted to tell because you talked about it on the Tingling Tea, and I was like, I gotta write that.
The one with the girl with the
purple, yeah.
Hey, it's Reggie.
What up, Reggie?
Hey, Reggie.
But to your point, Leslie, and I think, and same with the thing that Ra was saying and Les was saying, that is well said, is being able to bring in those different perspectives into horror and to be able to bring that stuff to life. It just creates a better tapestry for all of us. You know, there's so many people who I would almost have to strong arm them to read Jinjitsu, for example, because they're like, well, I don't like manga. I'm like, how much have you read? They go, well, a little bit. I'm like, just try. And it gives you such a perspective, and it broadens the horizons of what we can all enjoy and experience, and it helps connect us too, right? And so I really appreciate all you sharing. But like I said, I would love to dabble more in this because, whether it be from stuff from the Tingling Tea that you've talked about, some of the stuff that Ron and I talked about, or even Les talking about, Appalachia. I know there's so much more out there. And in Homestead, it's funny, we talk about the skinwalkers, right? The Lakota don't have skinwalkers. So it was like one of those things. It was like early, I'm like, this can't be a skinwalker werewolf because that does not exist with the Lakota. It is not, that's not it. Mm-hmm. And it was one of my earliest things in doing this book was like, how do we get around this? And how do we have Lakota werewolves? Obviously there's wolves out there, so, but honoring that and things like that. But,
if we could just for a moment, Mr. Backer #1 needs to go so that way he can work tomorrow, but he has a couple of words that he wants to say.
Oh, yes, please. #1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to
okay, so
put him on blast. Right. Go ahead. We're all ears, Jordan. Go ahead.
But no, yeah, as Nathan said, I do have some stuff I need to do tomorrow, but I did want to take this moment to say, if it wasn't for the man to my left, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the books that I have. I wouldn't have spent the money that I have. So, thanks, Dirk. You're good.
We all thank you for that.
Yeah, no. This year will be, let me see, I just had it in my hand. Not the Junji Ito thing, but from 2014. I have the signature right there.
Right.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, Les, just like you, 11 years.
Man.
The
hell of a road.
Road. My sister was the one who gave me my first tattoo. She said it could be anything I ever wanted. So,
Mysteries. Yeah, I know. That's
the man. I had to go with someone that probably, impacted my life in such a wonderful way to where I could be where I am now with the books and
thank you.
with Writ. And I've been doing this with Raph and Nathan and everyone else for like 2.5 years.
It's been that long already? Wow.
It's been a while, man.
You're forgetting an entire year. You started during COVID. That's 3 to 4 years now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We all try to forget the COVID time.
Exactly.
Well, see, the only thing that like keeps me with those 2 years of COVID in my head, the 2 years of Anna Marathon that I missed out on still happened because I had paid for those already, and I have a streak going.
Ouch. Hey, when COVID hit, Apocalypse Girl came out. The collection came out literally a month before COVID hit. And I had 35 shows scheduled for that year to support that book. And I got to do exactly one.
And I think, I think you are not counting Dirk, I think you were the second or third person I went to after Dirk. So.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm touched.
Yeah, it only goes up for me. When you start with me, it's like you're the less. You're like moving up. So like
it's because of you. It's because of because of that bookshelf right there.
Oh man,
it is because of you.
It's not hoarding if it's books.
Oh shoot.
Oh, there.
But I have a 9.4.
Reggie.
Nice. Yeah, the New York Comic Con exclusive. Just remember, it's not hoarding if it's books.
No, yeah, but no, I do truly thank him and everything he's done for me the 11 years.
Well, my pleasure, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and then
it's
like I said, if it wasn't for Dirk, I wouldn't have known Raph because Dirk was on a show of Raph's like around that time when I was like, oh man, this is neat. And all these
Dirk's
people
got that way about him, man. He affects things.
Oh no, yeah,
domino effect.
Well, high tide raises all ships, right? And good people should know good people, and that's been one of the joys of working on Homestead is that getting to bring in people that normally you never would have met, or even meeting, getting to meet Ralph through this book. And then all that stuff.
Well, Jordan, I'll tell you what, man. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to meet you in person at a show sometime.
Come to Michigan. Dirk, tell him, get him into
Get once. It was away up in Saginaw though. Way up from you in Saginaw anyway. But.
Get Wes to come to Monroe. Pull some strings with Gary.
Monroe's a fun show. Well, once the book comes out,
I'd love to come up there, man. I'd love to come up and do some.
Yeah, for sure.
We all want to get together, do some signings together. Rao and I were talking too. Because again, going back to the original point, this book was originally going to come out as issues. We were going to tour on them, but then it got to the point. It's like, real talk, man. Paper's getting so expensive. It's getting harder and harder to sustain. What may become the loss leader? You got to run, Jordan. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, from let's see, this one all the way.
Yeah, buddy.
So right there.
Wow,
that's wild.
Wait, Jordan, before you leave, you gotta do your plugins.
Yeah, I know. Desk Dirk, Cthulhu, the CD, the candle, the matches.
Yeah, we've done fun stuff. I always make sure to take care of Jordan. He's very a frequent number one backer. So we just take care of our own.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But if you also want to support our wonderful number one backer, you can do so by following a couple of links that he has that gives him a little bit of a cut of every purchase made on Jordan.
There you go, Nathaniel. Bring it home.
Yeah. So recently I became an affiliate with PlayAsia.com. PlayAsia sells anything from video games, toys, books, music, so on and so forth. Let's see, there's the affiliate link for that one. And a few months ago, I became affiliated with another company called Otaku Lamps, who are running their license ending sales stuff till the end of March. So I have a code and stuff for that. And there's that. And I mean, like I said, I opened up the floodgates, so continue building that repertoire of build the number up, and go check Reign of Dracula out when that's out. Any store or online shop that has Apocalypse Girl, go check that out. Yeah. I think I pretty much wrapped it all up.
Yeah, thank you.
Full disclosure, I didn't pay him to say that.
Nope, you didn't.
This is what Jordan does on the YouTube.
And it's not just because I got a free print. It's not even just.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
He is one of the winners of one of the sketches.
Well, actually, 2 free prints because of the one from Reign of Dracula.
Oh,
he's on a roll.
Good Lord. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right, man. I've got a. We're checking the backer kit on that, and supposed to have a bunch of information collated together for me, so I can start busting out those sketches soon.
I think even Dirk would be pretty interested in the thing I'm having you work on.
Ooh.
They have some correlation with the shirt right here.
Oh, nice. I love Ghost so much.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, dude, Ghost is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know we all got to wrap it up here in a minute, but I was going to say,
so
throwing things out there.
That being said, it was good to be here for the hour 21 minutes. Raul, good to meet you. Les, good to finally see you after that long.
You brother. So that's a sign of love. Because when that left hand goes up, that's a sign of love, man.
Yes, sir. You know it. Dirk, we'll talk, and I'll be seeing you in less than 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
It's coming fast.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's a good thing that it's a good thing Homestead is till April 1st, because man, that convention's going to do something to my bank account again.
No fooling. Well, ending in April 1st, no fooling. That was
show are you talking
and
about?
Then
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Nope, I know. Just had to show it off.
What show are you guys talking about?
Because I'm one of the few that can actually say that I actually have one.
Banner from one of the shows I did. So.
Yep.
We got to keep his collection intact, man. He's number one. You got to take care of him.
Hey, man.
You're not the only one, Les. You're not the only one that takes care of Jordan, all right? Giving him all the stuff.
The giant metal print. I still got that giant metal print down here, too.
Yeah, that's cool, too.
Dirk, you may as well adopt him.
Well, there's a whole bunch of us who are pretty much adopting Jordan.
Oh, definitely.
No. Okay, hold on. Speaking of things that are because of Dirk, because of that Tales of Mr. Reef 5 campaign, he is the reason I spent $250. Him and Les are the reason $250.
And that was the prototype that was on this one.
Yep.
Dirk is an amazing salesman.
I just work with cool people, and I have the opportunity to make cool stuff, and I'm glad that cool people choose to support our cool stuff.
Because that was even the first.
Wait for you guys to see the rest of the stuff coming.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Raul's face tells it all right. It's like we're all sitting here like this.
It's also.
I won't say anything, but they're.
I'm gonna make a talk about something here. Because I think these are on the Kickstarter promos. There's the small werewolf bust, and then there's the full werewolf statue. So I know it's not that uncommon anymore for Kickstarters to have maybe some collectibles or something in with the stretch goals. But I would challenge you to find many books where the person who drew the book is the one who sculpted the collectibles.
Ooh.
True.
And that's the case here. Those are mine. Those are my sculpts.
Yes, they are.
Nice.
And on the big one with the painted full werewolf, before you get it, I'm the one who will be painting it.
Just as you did that one.
Yeah. So that's some of my 3D work there. That's the stuff I do outside of comics is 3D work.
Nice.
But
That's really good.
I guess
And
the last thing before I actually do leave, because I've already taken like 10 minutes. It is also because of Dirk, once again, that as I continued to build that repertoire of supporting other artists after Dirk, and writers and stuff, that I started to have that dream of, man, it'd be cool if I got to be in a comic book. And then I met Rich, and then Les showed up, and now I look forward to a book that's not even out yet.
oh yeah, that's happening. That's definitely happening.
Reign of Dracula 3, I'm going to be in a comic book, which is wild to think about.
He's just checking off things now.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
live your best life.
Yep. So that being said, I've said my part. So that being said, good night, everyone.
Bye,
Thanks,
Mr.
man.
Number
Good
One
night,
Backer.
man. Sleep well.
Later.
Thanks.
All right,
Oh,
folks.
Lord.
So this
Now,
is the
what
part-
if we make Jordan his own comic book?
make Jordan a comic book?
I think I could probably knock that out in a couple days.
Put them in the indigenous.
Welcome to Obsessed Fan Comics.
Go ahead, Raul. What are you gonna say, brother?
Oh no, I just saying. I think that's great. I mean, we owe so much to the backers, and you know, I think spirits that we have backers like Jordan who just adore what Dirk does. Dirk and us, I think, are the big draws on this because the artwork is so awesome and the storyline is so awesome. Like I said, I'm the salt and pepper on the entree with this situation, and the fact that I can just add some culture to it. But other than that, man, I couldn't be so pleased, with this situation. And this
That
story
guy
is
down there,
amazing.
Reggie Hicks, good dude. I think he's having a head off, so I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. Raul, please continue, but I just wanted to make sure we said hey to Reggie. Reggie's been a my stuff for a very long time. So, yeah, good dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like I said, I'd like to give them all the backers shout out, for helping us here. I can't, like you guys were talking earlier that, we hit all 3 stretch goals in 24 hours. That blew my mind. And here we are heading to the second set of stretch goals. I'm with Les, man. I mean, it pretty much blew my expectations out the water in the first couple hours. So, yeah, I'm just amazed by this and can't think. I wish I could shake everybody's hand, because it's just amazing.
Let's keep this trainer rolling.
We can't shake hands. We can sign all their books, though. Sign all their book plates. So that'll be the thank you. But
that's the way to go.
I can't think of a better way to end it than that, man. Thank you, Raul. I mean,
I got signatures
and
all around.
Dakota Nation. We say Layla Wosh Stilak, and it simply means love, respect, and camaraderie. Really is what it means. And I say that to all of you. I can't thank you enough for having me on this podcast with, Dirk and Les on this. This is wonderful.
No, thank you, brother. We appreciate you so much, and you are a lot more than the salt and the pepper. Trust me, you are an integral part of this whole thing. Everyone's been contributing equal pull on this, so thank you. And Leslie,
you're at least the cayenne and turmeric.
There you go.
That's great.
Leslie, we're going to put you in a group there, Leslie, because I think after Homestead wraps up, when we all take a breath, I'm going to record. I would like to do some more indigenous native horror stuff. So
there you go,
let me just say, what are the odds that I would be on with a lady with my name? Because my full name is Leslie.
Oh, that. Wow, that's
So-
wow. That's a big coincidence.
So as of 10 years old, there were when I was 10, 11 years old, there were 5 girls in my class in school. No joke. 5 girls in my class with the name Leslie. I was the only boy with that name. And that's when I became Les.
I said the horror story building there too. Then there were 4 girls. we got the walking tree. Then there were 2. But thank you so much for having us on. And Leslie, I don't know if you heard, but I think we're gonna have to, when this is done, create a little group thread because oh, thank you, Jeannie. There's another one that's been keeping everything going. So but no, I'm just going on record saying, Leslie, that I think we should all talk more about some of this indigenous horror stuff because I think that would be let's do that too. So we'll talk off air and Leslie, drop me a note and we'll connect with everybody and let's talk more here soon.
Actually, I'm gonna jump off because I do have to go to work in the morning. But
Yeah.
it's such a pleasure meeting everybody. Les, namesake Les, Melungeon heritage, and then Raul, representing my indigenous heritage, and Dirk. There's so much I could say about this guy. I really love you, Dirk. So and Ralph, of course, I love you too, and Nate. I miss my crew since I've been so
we
busy.
missed you. It was great that you came on.
This was so. I mean, I love seeing anybody, but this was such a pleasant surprise to see.
Thank you. But I would like to invite you all to come and speak. When we get back, we're on a hiatus right now, and Jay Winter Night Wolf Live and speak about the project. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but hopefully it'll be within the time that the campaign is still going on. And we can get a lot of the indigenous perspective and support from that side, possibly. So just look out for an invite from me, okay?
Special edition. Right.
Yeah.
One shot show, special edition, Leslie. You can make this happen. Come on.
I can do it. I could try. There are things that are happening right now that are beyond my control, but I would love to have you all come speak. And I mean, he also has a radio show, so it'd be nice to come and talk about that on the radio show. I mean, I feel like, we're selling to a certain audience because you do have a fan base, but I'd really like to open this up to a broader indigenous base. So, having people tap into that would be a really good idea. And I'd also like to support it in other ways too, just to get that message out there. But thank you all. It's nice meeting you, Raul and Les. And you all have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good luck.
It's
already there.
Blessings.
You too.
You too.
Well, there it is.
Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Ooh, hold on.
There you go.
No, thank you, Dirk. Both you.
Hey, bud.
Very good.
10 seconds on.
10 seconds on here.
No, it's truly.
We've got a guest over here.
Yes, thank you very much, Ralph. And again, always appreciate getting to chat with you, man. So thank you very much, on.
It's
and
always
get everyone out there. Homesteadcomic.com. It's kind of listed right there. Check it out. We're until April 1st, but if you jump in sooner, we unlock more stretch goals sooner. Everybody gets more. So again, thank you for giving us this platform, man. You do so much for so many creators, Ralph. And thank you, brother. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
I appreciate you, and that's why I like having you on. Especially, look at this. We're in like an hour and 30 minutes where we should have been finished a while ago, and that's because it just gets amazing. And one last thing is that you're not kidding. This show today has been a challenge to put out there, and I feel like you're right. It kind of mirrors your project because you had all these challenges. You still got to the end of it, and folks. You guys have just watched some great stuff here, and go support this. It's an amazing novel, great story. It's different, and that's what we need more of, is something different.
That's the intent. Well, thank you again for having us on, friends. And thank you all you're listening. Check out homesteadcomic.com. All the details are there. As long as you pledge for these hardcover, you're going to get all the stretch goals. And tomorrow, bring your silver.
There you go.
You'll
Thank
see.
you all.
Thank you.
You got that Danzig song "Come to Silver" stuck in my head.
There it is. There it is. See? Right, Rob, you know too.
Mm-hmm.
I've had so many songs with this, like the one song for the promo. I didn't even know existed until like I was looking for something, and it was so perfect. I was like, "Whoa!" The song's called "Werewolf," and I was like,
There it is.
Oh man, if you check out the trailer for the book, the music in that trailer I did for the trailer.
"Nice,
That was
man! You're a jack
I
of all
put that
trades.
together. What's that?
You're a jack of all trades."
I dabble. I dabble in a few things.
You guys are both you and Rob both so talented. And I'm just sitting here. I just bang on a keyboard until the red squiggly line disappears. So, all right. On that note, friends.
All right,
Ralph,
y'all.
good to see you, man. We'll be talking more face to face soon. Les, be talking more soon. Ralph, thank you so much. Nathan, thank you for holding it down back behind the scenes, and all of you listening, watching this live or later. Thank you. And homesteadcomic.com.
There you go. And like
Yes.
I say on the show all the time,
Homesteadcomic.com.